Hello, and welcome to this episode of Natter with Niamh. Today, I'd like to take a wander around permission and what permission is and why we're waiting for it. The dictionary definition of permission is the action of officially allowing someone to do a particular thing, consent or authorization. And so often we wait around in life for permission to do things that actually we need for ourselves and we want to do. But we're hanging around for this mysterious authority to actually give us permission. If you think back to your school days and you're sitting in your desk and you're actually bursting to go for a wee, and you have to put your hand up and ask for permission to go to the toilet. And sometimes that would be denied, and other times the teacher would say yes. There never seemed to be any rhyme or reason for that, in your view. But we've held on to that. Not in terms of going to the toilet. Most of us grown-ass adults actually just take ourselves off to the toilet when we need to. But for other things, we have our to-do lists. Perhaps we're looking after elderly parents or young children. Maybe you're one of those sandwiched in the middle between the elderly parents and the teenagers. You're working full-time or part-time. You've got a house to run. You've got a partner who has needs and wants too. And you enjoy spending time with all of these people. Of course you do. But what that leaves is very little time for you to do the things that actually bring you joy. For you to just stop and breathe for a few moments. Or to read a book. Or go to that dance class. Or take up that art project you were looking at, learning to crochet, whatever it is, and you're sitting around and you're not doing it. And last time on the solo episode I spoke about procrastination, and there is an element of that in there. I spoke about how procrastination generally often stems from fear. And yes, there can be an element of fear in the seeking of permission as well. But how often are we sitting around waiting for somebody else to say, "Oh yes, that's a really good idea. You go do that. Oh yes, do that." We're sitting around and we're waiting. We're waiting for somebody else to tell us that what we want and what we need in life is a good idea. That they give us their permission to go and do it. So if we come back to the analogy of the toilet and needing the toilet, you don't ask permission now to go to the toilet, do you? You don't ask permission to wear the red shoes that you bought and love. You just wear them. You don't need to ask anybody permission to go to work. Sometimes you might have to ask permission to leave work early or to take a day off. That's a slightly different thing. But we don't ask permission to eat, to sleep, to watch Netflix. So why are we waiting for permission to do the things that really matter to us? What is there beyond the fear that stops us from saying, "Hell yes, I'm going to do this"? What is it that stops you from actually giving that permission to yourself to do the thing you want to do? A lot of it comes down to that good girl that you were brought up to be. That good girl who put everybody else first. That good girl who did things for everybody else, who cleared her to-do list before she was allowed to do anything else. You remember the days you had to do your homework, you had to do your chores, and only then were you allowed out to play with your friends. You're still applying those rules to your life. You're not letting yourself play because the good girls didn't get to play until they'd done their chores, until they'd done their homework. But instead of chores, well, still chores, but instead of chores and homework, now you've got, the bills to pay, the laundry to do, the ironing to do, the meals to cook, the holidays to plan, care for your parents to sort out, and on that list goes. And it's never going to end. So you'll never get to play. So you need to choose to play. You need to give yourself that permission to take the time out for you that you need to play. And by play, I mean breathe, walk, meditate, read, whatever it is that brings you joy. And if you've forgotten what that is, it's even more important that you give yourself permission now, this moment, today. When I've finished the next sentence, you have my permission to pause this podcast, to put your hands on your heart, to close down your eyes and take 2 or 3 deep breaths, and then say, preferably out loud, I give myself permission to take a break. I give myself permission to play. And let yourself sit with that. Allow it to sink in. Feel how it feels in your body. And don't push those feelings away. They're valid. They're yours. And they tell you something. And if they're squirmy, horrible feelings that are coming up, they're telling you that this is what you need, that you've forgotten you, that you need to keep reinforcing this idea that you have permission to play, that you don't need to have all the chores done before you do things for you. Because believe me, I've reached a ripe old age now, and those chores never go away. As soon as you've got one lot of washing up done, the next lot appears. As soon as one lot of laundry is done, the next lot appears. If I were to wait till everything was done, I'd never find the time to record this podcast, which brings me deep joy, sharing my thoughts with you and hearing the stories of my guests. I love talking, I love being in conversation. For me, this is play, and I've given myself permission to play out loud, to play on the internet where everybody can hear and see me. And today, I want you to give yourself permission to do whatever it is that gives you that break, that gives you those few moments to just remember who you are and what you love, and do more of that. I will see you next time on Natter with Niamh. Do please share with me how that felt for you, what you've chosen to do, what you've given yourself permission to play with or at, and I will see you next time.